A Barrie resident who expressed his displeasure with construction noise at 37 Johnson Street from the gallery during last week's General Committee meeting spoke to the council on Wednesday. During the City Council meeting, Len Savella opposed the noise exemption which Council has provided to contractor FRAM and Slokker. The development is located in a quiet zone near a senior care home. According to a city bylaw, construction in quiet zones is allowed Monday to Friday from 7 am to 5 pm only. The exemption will allow the company to extend the hours of construction from 7 am to 8 pm one day a week, Monday through Thursday. This exemption will help the company to finish concrete pouring job that requires long working hours. The construction project had received opposition when it was announced. A petition by residents and businesses against the project gathered over 400 signatures. The council had unanimously rejected the construction proposal. However, it was ultimately approved by the Provincial Local Planning Appeal Tribunal. It is a final decision-making body on construction projects. Savella said since the construction began, the lifestyle of his family and other residents had been negatively impacted due to the noise, lights, and other disturbances. He said his wife had a big tumor removed from her brain and the lighting can cause another seizure. He also complained that there is no privacy fence put up along the parking lot. Savella submitted video evidence of these disturbances to the council. He has walked around the neighborhood to talk to other residents. He told the council that they also expressed their fatigue. He is recommending that the council enforce bylaw and not provide any concessions to the developer. Director of Development Services Michelle Banfield stated that compliance will be checked by staff on Thursday morning. Councillor Claire Ripma asked the staff to make sure the construction lights are not directly pointed at Savella's house.
Well, welcome to Barrie City Council this evening. We'll start with the next pieces of the agenda. In terms of item 4, student mayors, there are none this evening. And we will now move on to the confirmation of the minutes. The minutes of the City Council meeting held on December the 14th, 2022 have been circulated. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, they're adopted as printed and circulated. There are no awards and recognition this evening or reports from officers. We are going to move into item 8 on our agenda, which is deputations. Tonight we have a deputation by Len Savella regarding motion 23-G-005, the second request for a temporary noise exemption at 37 Johnson Street for FRAM and Slokker in Ward 1. An emergency deputation was received on the same matter but was later withdrawn. I'll now call upon Len Savella to the podium to provide the deputation. Please note that in accordance with the city's procedural bylaw, a maximum of 5 minutes is permitted for the deputation this evening. Mr.
Good
Savella.
evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to apologize. Slight slur in my speech. I had some dental work done and still feeling the effects of that. Good evening. My name is Len Savella. I reside at number 8 Campfire Court. It literally faces the backside of the development that's taking place at 37 Johnson Street. And I'm here tonight to oppose the noise exemption which council has supported, allowing the developer, the contractor FRAM and Slokker to work past the 5 o'clock bylaw. With many new faces here, I'll start with a little history regarding the development. It was a development that was denied many times prior to Starlight's application, and it was proclaimed to be a perfect fit by Starlight, even though there were many zoning variances that were requested from coverage, setbacks, parking spaces, and onwards. It was strongly opposed by residents and businesses in the area, with a petition garnering over 400 signatures. Council unanimously denied it, and eventually it was ultimately approved by LPAT. Since the commencement of construction, many factors have contributed into a lifestyle change for my family and myself, as well as other residents. All mature trees in the cul-de-sac were cut down, which were a natural buffer from the building parking lot, and the homes on Campfire. The parking lot has since then been altered, and now vehicles park with their headlights facing all the homes on Campfire Court. The illumination goes, because of their elevation of the parking lot is higher, it goes into our bedrooms, our front living area, our kitchen, as well as there are water pumps that run, and I'm aware that it needs to be because of the high water table, that run continuously for 24/7 with strobing lights and nonstop. That droning noise is just, and it's all exaggerated by the existing building and its positioning. It just reverberates off that building, and it comes at us accentuated. Campfire Court, even though on the application, and I've been assured by building department individuals as well as Councillor Riepma that it was not to be used by any construction for construction purposes, ongoing parking, overnight dump trucks, unloading and loading of large vehicles, skid steers, forklifts driving up and down Campfire, as late as on the 13th. I have a video evidence of all this. And on several occasions, the work has already gone past 5 p.m., including on one event up to almost 10 p.m. at night. There's a blatant disregard for the city, for its laws, and for the residents by this contractor and the whole development. My main reasons for the opposition are that the area is designated as a quiet zone. Barrie Manor is literally 1 block away. It's well within the 500 meters. I believe it's almost 100 meters away. It being winter with no foliage, no dampening, the sound, the illumination is exaggerated. There's nothing there to block it. As the construction, right now they were below grade and they're at grade level. As it gets higher, the noise will even travel further. The lights will be more exaggerated because there will be no structures to dampen it. And it will reverberate off the lake. It'll go across part of the lake. And rather than deal with hypothetical propositions and what ifs about, oh, well, we'll be able to enjoy our backyards in the summer, I personally, who is going to experience this, would rather know that come 5 p.m., according to our existing bylaw, I'll be able to go outside and enjoy my backyard. Know that the noise and the lights will cease. I decided to take a walk around the block on Monday evening, and within 2 hours, just to see if I was a lone wolf or how the other residents felt. It was a unanimous concession that everyone is tired. They're weary with this, with council. There's distrust of our councillor that would approve and recommend this, because we're the ones that ultimately will live with it. I would recommend that the councillor walk about and speak to his residents of his ward to get a feel. I would recommend other councillors to drive along Indian Arrow and see the abomination. It's a war zone. There are containers. There are fences literally on the curb, leaning over on the roadway. I've grown up in construction, my family's in construction, and I've never seen this take place, and not only that, but for them to get away with it. So I strongly oppose this, and not only would I recommend and appreciate if council would turn it down, that they would enforce it and make sure that the contractor does not surpass the time. I'm not asking for any concessions from the developer. I'm just asking that he abides by the existing bylaws that are in place. Thank you for your time, and have a good night.
Thank you, sir, for coming out this evening, especially after having some dentistry done.
I do have that petition if you wanted to see it. It's only about 40 residents. And
yeah, could we actually provide that to the clerk?
And
Is that okay
and
with
I
you?
even have video evidence or pictures. I'm not tech savvy. I don't know how to forward it to you, but by all means.
You and me both, sir. You and me both. Just before you go back, are there any questions for the deputy? Yes, Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Actually, thank you for your deputation. I actually have a question of staff, Mr. Arangizan. And maybe if this isn't your department, the gentleman was talking about like debris and stuff up the road and stuff. has staff been out to take a look to make sure that the construction company is abiding by their staging and their site plan approval?
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Deputy Mayor Thompson. So staff do go on a regular basis, but certainly after hearing the deputation today, I am making notes and will definitely have make sure that the inspectors are out there first thing tomorrow morning to look at these things for sure. But they do go on a regular basis, but then sometimes they go and they leave and things change once they leave. So I will definitely flag this for them again for sure.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to add one thing. I initially did not want to mention it because it's personal, but I have brought it to the attention of the councillor. All these alterations have changed our lifestyle. And when I say that, it's because we used to get together in the living area, and we've had to move and relocate. And the reason being is the lights and all the illumination, whether it be from the vehicles or whether it be from the construction. My wife had a 3.5-inch tumor removed from her brain. So the lighting can act as for another seizure. She did have one, and I've brought it to no avail. There's been no privacy fence put up along that parking. The lights are always on. But anyway, that's all I just wanted. That's what I meant by a lifestyle change because of the construction. Sorry.
Thank you. And I'm just going to ask Deputy Mayor Thompson, were you going to? Yes.
Just a follow-up to Ms. Banfield. With the request for one day, has the constructor provided a working schedule that would eliminate time off the end? And maybe a follow-up to the deputation, that this is already going on, that they're working past 5. Do you think it's possible that maybe we could have staff attend to make sure that, I don't know where this will go until council votes, but if it is, that it's not happening on more than one night, that they do abide by what they've set out, and if you could just, if they've given you a schedule of the purpose for the one day, is it eliminating, time off the end of the construction?
Mayor Nuttall, through you to Deputy Mayor Thompson, I'm going to throw it to Ms. McAlpine. The actual noise request exemption came through their office.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson. Sorry.
Mayor Nuttall, through you, with your permission, through you to Deputy Mayor Thompson, it's my understanding, and Mr. Keene, who received the noise exemption request, can provide additional details or correct me if I'm wrong, that the constructor has indicated that permitting the noise one day a week will allow them to complete the pours. They haven't provided a specific schedule as far as I'm aware, and the noise bylaw is enforced by Barrie Police Service when they have resources available.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson. Before we proceed, I just, sorry, Councilor Ripa, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for your deputation, Mr. Savella. And you did raise one question. I wanted to ask, through you, Mr. Chairman, to Ms. Banfield. You heard the comment made about the lights from the parking lot shining into Mr. Savella's house. Is there? Can we have a look at that and see if there's something we can do about that?
Through you, Mayor Nuttall, to Councillor Riepma, absolutely. I will add that to the list to look at with staff first thing tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you.
Just just very quickly on your deputation, and I'm just trying to get a copy of the exact wording. Some of the items, like I said, I'm not great with technology, so I appreciate you taking the time or giving me the time here. With regards to the amendment that was placed last week, looking at blocking of lighting, I believe in there, and some of the other items, is it? And I'm just asking you to give me the complete honest. Is it your view that that just won't happen, or is it that it's not enough? And I'm just asking because
It would all be hypothetical. I couldn't answer it. I can only speak off of the precedent that's been set by the contractor.
Yeah.
And that I have approached them. I took it upon myself to approach them when they worked late one night, and they didn't care. And I asked, and I mean, I'm not looking for any confrontation or to have an argument. I just said, why is it that you're working? Well, we got to do it. Who cares? You get lost. Who are you? I didn't answer any of the questions. I said, I was just driving around, and I was inquiring why it's almost 10 o'clock, and you're still working.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the burden should be placed on our police force. They have a lot more pressing issues to deal with these days. And I just wish that they would, as anyone would, including me as a resident, abide by the bylaws that are in place. I'm not asking for much.
Thank you so much for your presentation this evening.
No problem.
Just before we move on, are there any other questions? There aren't. Thank you so much again, sir. Oh, there are. Councillor Kungle.
Thank you, and thank you for your deputation, Mr. Savella. I did want to ask a question before we deliberate later on the item, because it was my understanding that through Councillor Riepma, the amendment had that balance of, while we are extending potentially one evening from the noise bylaw that currently exists, the benefit was seen to be that, one, they're pouring concrete, but two, it could expedite the timeline of the construction overall. And I wanted to know if you favored one outcome over the other. So if we have the opportunity through conversations tonight, direction to staff, as they identified, to investigate things that you brought that were of concern between the lighting, the noise, how that might be enforced. Overall, should council support this? I mean, would you rather see, if it does have an impact, removing the amendment for one night of an extended timeline and having construction go longer into the year?
I would appreciate that come 5 p.m. I know I'd rather deal with facts. Knowing that they will finish at 5, Lord willing, if it's enforced, the bylaw, have it extended. The 3 hours is such an inconvenience for all the local residents, and over the 18 weeks approximately, it's 54 hours. It would be a week, even 2, have it extended twice. But at least knowing that 5 p.m., it would be done. Some of the wording and comments that I read in a paper from our Councillor Riepma was that they will hopefully have the lights out by 8 p.m., health and safety permitting. I don't want that to be another scapegoat, to sit back and say, well, we had to leave them on because there was still a guy that was working in a darker area. I don't expect them to work in the dark, because if something was to happen, Ministry of Labor would shut down the project, and it would even be extended for longer. The project is a very large development that'll take multiple years to complete. So if it's going to be an extra 2 weeks, it's not an issue.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful
You're
to
very
know.
welcome.
That's all my questions.
Thank you, Councillor Kungle. Thank you, sir, for your presentation this evening, as well as answering all of the questions.
That was the update for bylaw exemption for a construction project. Stay tuned for more news from the City Council.